Job hopping. Is it a good or a bad thing? Well, once upon a time, we were told to get a job that was secure, that provided stability, and if we worked hard, went above and beyond, and we accepted promotions and climbed that corporate ladder, we would be looked after by the employer. We could pay into our pension and then hopefully retire at 68 to live out our golden years. What a load of BS. That is totally outdated. So let's address the reality of how risky it really is to remain in one job for years upon years and the damage that it can do. And I'm going to go through some different reasons here. Skill stagnation. Very one-dimensional, you never added any new strings to your bow and you just know that one job and the same tasks. You never explored new skill sets. Economic vulnerability. Your company could be downsizing, restructure, you could be made redundant, or the company gets taken over by AI and you're left wondering, well, what's going on with my job? Slow and limited earning potential. You can only climb the corporate ladder so fast and gain promotions every so often. And even pay rises are marginal throughout the year. 2, 3, 4%. There's a ceiling, there's a cap, it's very limited. Seen as complacent and lazy if you are in a job for too long by new employers. If you go into another job interview and an employer says to you, you've been in your job 15, 20 years. Did you have no growth? Were you not ambitious? Did you not step outside your comfort zone? Did you not think outside the box? That's how they're going to see it. That you've kind of just been a plodder in your last job. I wouldn't hire someone if they turned around to me and said, I'm now looking for a new job, but I was in my job for 20 years. I'd think, well, they probably just wanted to get rid of you after, for so long being in one job, they just probably wanted to get you out. I wouldn't hire someone like that because it does scream there's no ambition or no thinking for yourself. I kind of like solopreneurs and people who think outside the box, right? Mental and emotional risks. There are many people who have been in jobs for years who now suffer with anxiety, being apprehensive, even depression, who are on pills because they're so miserable, they feel so trapped, they go through the motions and they don't know how to get out. And they're being harassed, bullied, they're in a toxic environment, they're being micromanaged, they're on performance reviews, and they just don't do anything about it, but they're miserable, they're unhappy. Gallup's did a survey last year, 77% of all global working adults disliked their jobs, but yet they remain. For many different reasons, but the point is, mental and emotional risk is one of the biggest. Industry-specific risks. When you only know one thing, and you're on this hamster wheel of just doing the same thing day in, day out, Groundhog Day, when new opportunities come, you cannot take them because you only know a set of tasks and the to-do list that you do every day and you know nothing else. So you're very, very kind of closed and just sucked into doing this one job. So you can't expand and take new opportunities because you've been so industry specific. And when tech comes in and you have to learn how to use laptops and software, you're out of your depth. You've got no idea because you're outdated. And that's a problem with staying in a place for too long. Loss of identity. You don't know who you are anymore. I saw this all the time in my last job. People who would pretend to be a character. They'd brown nose, they'd try and fit in with the cliques, they'd try and get involved in office politics, and they would tell people what they wanted to hear. You know, very people pleasing. And you do that for so long, you become someone you don't really recognize, and then that's when you get home and you question yourself. And typically where someone hits a midlife crisis because they get to 40, 50 and they look back on their life thinking, who the hell am I? I've got no purpose, I've got no fulfillment. I've been pretending to be someone at work just so I don't stand out and I can keep my job because I fear losing it, because I've become financially independent on that one company. Very dangerous loss of identity. And then sense of lost time. You know, getting to that ripe old age of 55 and 60 and looking back at your life and thinking, I've devoted 20, 30 years to one company that has just made me redundant or fired me or didn't really care about me, and that time's never coming back. Again, I talk about this quite a lot in my content. Time. It's the most precious thing and you have to start living life for you. And that's a very common thing, is feeling that you have lost time. And suppressed dreams. You know, we all had dreams once upon a time, but as soon as you signed up and you went in that job interview and you told them, I can do the job, boss. Yes, me, boss. Pick me, boss. I can do the job. You know, you can rely on me. I'll work hard and go above and beyond, boss. And then all those things you wanted to do, you know, you were creative, you had dreams, maybe you wanted to start your own company one day. Nope, they've all been suppressed because you've been in a company for so long. Now, what are the pros of job hopping? And there's so many pros, and it works in today's day and age. and you should be job hopping once every sort of 1.5, 2 years. Because we're in a fast moving world right now, so move fast with it. So faster career growth, learning and gaining new skill sets a lot faster. You avoid burnout because you're always on the move. You're more financially independent because you realize you can rely on yourself to 2 years here, 2 years there, 2 years here, move there, increase my pay, go up on the ladder. You know, you're dependent on yourself. It's somewhat like almost like a solopreneur, but still within the corporate world. Gaining real life perspective. You learn a lot quicker that companies just use you, therefore use them. Use them, learn the skill sets, get a higher pay rise, move on to another job. You wake up. Companies will get rid of you in a heartbeat. You're all just a number, and that's the reality. Avoid over investing into one company. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Building resilience. You gain more confidence, and you don't fear the risk of losing your job because you're always willing to move. You learn to innovate and adapt, which is really important for someone who can go on and personally develop. You enhance your work-life balance because you're always willing to move to a company that has better shifts or provides remote working, or you can do a couple of days in the office and then a couple of days at home. You're willing to move to what works with your life, and I'm an advocate of that. Design your life opposed to being assigned one. Avoiding mental breakdowns. If you're not getting too emotionally attached with the workplace and the co-workers within, then you stay very disconnected. So you apply self-mastery. Again, I talk about this, which is a great thing. Never get emotionally involved, therefore you avoid all these mental breakdowns. Also, you'll avoid anxiety and depression and all this kind of stuff. Also, you avoid co-worker attachment. Never trust and never get attached to co-workers. Now, these are just to name a few, by the way. Now, I hear some of you say, well, Aaron, what about when it comes to the job interview? What are we meant to say when they ask us, oh, you've moved around quite a lot? I personally don't know why we overcomplicate this and we actually make this into a thing. Because the answer is very simple. You tell them whatever you want. Tell them whatever they need to hear in the job interview. So for example, they say to me, Aaron, you've moved around job to job in the last few years. Are you all right just to give a bit of background to what's happened there? Yeah, no worries. The reason I left my last job is because I did express to them that I'm really looking to grow, I want to think outside the box, and I want to bring more to the table, and I am looking to grow within this company, but they didn't have the positions available, and the growth just wasn't there for me. And I'm someone that doesn't like to sit still. I really want to add value to the company, and I want to grow and push the vision forward, and that just wasn't there for me. I did say to them I'd be willing to hang around for the next 6 months, but they said it was unlikely there was going to be a position available. Just say that every time. Again, I don't know why we make it such a big thing. This whole, oh, well, job interviewers, they want to know exactly what you've been up to, about references and all this, is rubbish. They don't care. Tell them whatever you want. Use my example, and every time you go to a job interview, just tell them exactly the same thing. They're not going to ring each other up and be like, you know, blah, 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 and did you speak to Aaron, and they don't know each other. Stop overcomplicating it. In the 80s and 90s, perhaps they wanted to know and actually look at a CV. Now they don't care. I hire people just based on if I like them. I mean, that's the world that we're in, right? If you're good in an interview and you can show creativity and that you've got drive and ambition, happy days, you're likely to get the job. Now, this is my final advice to you. And by the way, if you're liking this, do let me know in the comments. What would you say in an interview? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you disagree? And if so, just make sure you give context so we can actually have a debate about it. But this is my final advice to all of you. Start thinking for yourself. Work towards financial independence. Realize the biggest risk in life is taking no risks at all. And remember, risks are always calculated. Okay, you don't just jump off a cliff and hope you survive. You pack a parachute. You know how to deploy the parachute. Okay, you make sure you've got enough clearance from the cliff to the ground floor. Okay, you calculate risk. Don't be that guy or girl that just complains about your job and does nothing about it. If you want change, be the change and control the controllables. The ultimate goal for all of us is time freedom. And I promise you now, you will not gain true time freedom in life to actually experience it and live life with your loved ones if you remain in one job for 10, 15, 20 years. I promise you, it's such a negative to stay in one place. You will become numb. You need to continue to evolve and develop. And finally, at the end of this video, I want to share with you my fully comprehensive, free, full course tutorial, which is 90 minutes long, on how to quit your job and build an online business so you can actually get out of the 9 to 5 and start living life on your terms. And it's totally for free, and it's on my YouTube, and you can click it next. This video is going to be the only video you need to be able to get out of the 9 to 5 and successfully start a business to live life designed by you. Start enjoying life, people. Do not give your power away to an employer for years upon years, for one day to look back and go, oh my God, where has my life gone? If you did like this video, please do like and subscribe. Again, let me know your thoughts and what resonated with you in the comments below. There'll also be some freebies and guides you can get in the description. And until next time, I'll see all of you very soon.